The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Wouldn't be Trick or Treat Radio without tech issues. And again, we have some tech issues, but it's a slight incremental improvement. And you know what? We're going to talk about a film this week because we didn't do that last week. So now, in the second episode of the new era of Trick or Treat Radio, we'll sound a little bit better than last week. So here you go. Welcome to the fucking show.
Welcome all you little zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 368 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast. It's recorded in front of an undead studio audience at Castle Wolfenstein down here, and then also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau. That's what it's called, right? Are you growing into that? Growing into that name?
I think so. I've been thinking about it. You know, I've been pondering it, getting a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
A lot of feedback. Yeah.
Well, I'm waiting for feedback. I guess. I'm hoping that feedback will come. But no, I've been thinking about that.
I mean, we're getting used to our new digs, and I mean, it's pretty cozy here. It's sure as hell more comfortable than the old studio.
Oh.
Just temperature wise. Oh, just based on that alone, it's a huge improvement.
But I don't think you guys are quite comfortable yet, because I just watched you assholes spend 5 minutes adjusting the knickknacks on the table.
No, because of where the camera is set, you can't get all the goodness that's displayed out on our table here. So we have to push it back so the camera will catch it. Unless these people just don't give a shit.
I don't think they give a shit. They're not listening to a podcast to look at what's on our table.
Well, then what's the point of even having a look to begin with?
I don't know.
Go then.
I think you're projecting yours.
I'm projecting.
Yes, listen,
what am I projecting?
Listen, I had one semester of psychology, and I watched Clockwork Orange about 80 times. So I think
you learned one key word that you don't fully understand what it means.
Which one's that?
Projecting.
I don't know what it is, but I think what I'm trying to say.
I think you learned the word machinations in those psychology lessons.
Yes. I think what Aries is trying to say is that.
Don't even. I hate that.
No, it's fine.
Let's not forget you brought me a weapon.
That's true. That's pretty sweet. It's pretty right. That red. Johnny, you see this?
Oh yeah. I saw Marion was selling that. Did you buy it?
I did. I couldn't believe she was fucking selling it. I had the fucking private messenger.
That thing is pretty badass.
Yeah.
It looks like it's been through a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's been like fucking through Asgard, over the Rainbow Bridge, all that shit. Aries smiled when he saw it. He couldn't put it down.
Baby Thor had it for a couple of years.
Very impressed by it.
Yeah. I've been friends with Aries for fucking 22 years. This is the first time he's been impressed by anything I ever had.
It's the first time he smiled.
Laughing.
All right, so let me quickly run down what's going to happen tonight because, once again, well, actually, I'll run down what's going to happen and I'll talk about some of the events of the week. But tonight, we're actually going to review a movie. We're going to be talking about Under the Silver Lake, the film we were going to do last week. We're doing it this week. And I had a little bit more free time, basically enough to fit in the film. So I did watch it last night. And I'm excited to talk about it. So we'll be talking about Under the Silver Lake. If you guys happen to be watching live and you have some thoughts on the flick, you can go ahead and send them in to us. Podcast at trickortreatradio.com. I'm curious to hear what other people have to think about this one. I'm curious to see what you guys have to think. So we'll find out in a little bit. And then, we didn't really plan too much more because... What's up? Did someone you guys say something?
Nobody said anything.
I think it was a phantom that joined the line. But so we're going to be doing that. We're talking about that, and then we didn't plan much else because we didn't want to just because we had a feeling there would be more tech issues based on what happened. And what happened this week is that shiny new computer that we got, Yeah, it. I thought Raven Shadow just couldn't turn it on, but the thing is,
I fucking know you did. You were fucking blaming me, and I fucking knew it.
That is the obvious solution to any problem.
Yeah.
Check the power button with Raven Shadow.
and but it did turn out. Raven Shadow even called in because like after a while he fiddled with it for a few hours, couldn't get it to work. He called in his tech support, Tom Smythe, and Tom verified. Yeah, man, it's toast. Right, Raven Shadow?
It's true. I could feel the judgment over the fucking phone, too.
I'm just picturing Zoolander when they were like, the information's in the computer.
Oh, because I was having super because I was, we were connecting with Johnny, and then Wednesday nights, I'm like, all right, I'm going to turn it on. And I had beautiful company at the house, put him up here for 2 fucking hours. And I'm like, listen, Johnny thinks I'm a fucking dummy. He's probably calling me a motherfucker down in Maryland. And I'm plugging things in, and I'm sweating. And then, so I made a point to the following. So it was actually on Thursday morning. No, what day was it? It was. What day was it? So
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday, yeah.
I ended up calling my tech support like 6 a.m. saying you have to come over to the house tonight. And he was able to arrange his schedule to come over. And yes, a smarter man than I verified that our computer was kaput.
Yes. So the new computer we bought, we had to get a new one. Well, we have to get a new one. Had some issues this week.
Click on.
Random porn is just going to pop up and play.
No, it's not random. I know what it is.
Well, yeah, Raven Shadow gave me access to his computer, and I said, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, just don't go, don't be surprised if you find something. So I told him,
Like what?
There's some folders you shouldn't open. You know what I mean?
you know how to save stuff?
I'd like to don't go digging, but it's probably not hidden very well. It's just right out in the open.
Just under the surface.
Wait, how do you know how to save? You know how to save stuff, Raven Shadow?
Like save as or save?
Save as.
Save ass.
Save ass. Try to save some ass. No. Once again, my tech support is also an expert in
Porn.
He's like the fucking Jedi master of porn. No. Let's edit this.
What does it say? It's and under the title, under the folder, it says things people shouldn't see.
Yeah, don't show my mom.
Yeah.
Mom,
don't.
Knock it off.
No, I don't have. I'm not a fucker. That's fine. There's nothing on there.
Well, I didn't. For your information, I didn't go looking. I'm scared, so I didn't bother. But I did need it to be able to access the computer, try some stuff out. We mostly got it working, and then the video wasn't working until like literally the last moment. So that's why for our live folks, we are running a little bit late. So we apologize. We'll get this down next week. We may have a new set of problems if we have a new computer. So
Yeah.
So the fun never stops around here. So I think we do sound a little bit better this week. So we were able to get some stuff going so we could make that happen. And Raven Shadow and I had a call last night trying to hook some stuff up, getting it ready in preparation, and we got there. So
it's hard being a producer, Johnny. I don't know if I want to do it anymore.
Started?
Well, I've been plugging things in, wrenching around, calling people for help.
Calling people motherfuckers.
Calling people motherfuckers. Yeah, I knew you were so fucking pissed at me too. I could tell by the
I was
text.
not pissed. You were actually like so apologetic because like I think you think I thought you broke the computer.
I did think that,
but I didn't. Shit happens.
Okay. All right, well, I appreciate that. Having anxiety.
It's like getting mad at the puppy on the first day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you have a plug for this?
Ah, shit.
You better have a plug for this. We got a display on this. I don't know if you can see it,
I
Johnny.
told you. What did I tell you? What did I tell him?
He's yelling at me.
Yeah. Well, you deserve to be yelled at.
Your battery is running low. You might want to plug in your PC.
Oh, my God. I told him last night, I'm like, don't forget to plug in the fucking laptop when we do the show because it's definitely going to die.
It's going to...
Unbelievable.
Funny.
So,
hurry up.
Is it? I saw the.
Here. He's here.
He's here.
I saw the
behind you.
I saw the camera shake when he was running up the stairs. This is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a close.
Do you know where to plug it, Raven Shadow?
It's gonna be a photo finish. Do you know where to plug it, Raven Shadow?
I hope people are watching this live because this is hilarious watching Raven Shadow plug in a laptop.
Hey! All right.
Oh, he did it! He did it! Tell him to put his headphones on. His hair's fine.
Put your goddamn headphones on. Your hair is okay. All right. Knock your crap off.
Come on, let's get it. Let's get a Bombaleo after that, Raven Shadow.
Bombaleo, baby.
And by the way, Raven Shadow, you're on the couch this week. Why?
I am on the couch.
Oh yeah.
Why did
Go ahead.
Why did you and MZ switch?
Well, because it's my house and I can determine.
No. That was not the real answer.
All right, full disclosure. To the audience, I was fully honest. I'm honest with my friends for many years, and I'll say I was watching the previous episode, and yeah, it's a true fact. A side profile. And I don't.
Opposed to your front profile.
I don't have a front profile anymore than
Yeah.
that, but
What other profile is there other than a side profile?
I like a nice shadowy silhouette.
Well, there's the Ric Flair profile.
What's that?
You've never seen the Ric Flair profile?
Maybe I have. Have I seen it?
I have no idea what he's talking about. To be
Have I seen it? What, is that involves penis or something? What's that mean?
Dynamo would know.
No. It's fair.
It's looking at it from the side from his wrestling trunks. The Ric Flair profile.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, no.
I never heard of that before. So.
But yeah, no, I don't like my side profile. I like to be able to talk to you guys, like to move around a little bit, and I felt a little contained. So I figured I would sit on the couch, and this way all they can sit with me.
Well, hopefully at some point we'll have the camera moved. So
But this
because
is
my side.
yeah, this is
You can't-
MC's bad profile side.
All right, well,
Oh, God, would it make everyone feel better if I sat in that seat?
it
No.
might.
No,
Well, can I sit there then?
No, I want to sit there.
No,
Let's have a contest.
Aries gets the first choice.
He should.
Oh, I think.
I did, and apparently it's causing problems. I picked the best seat in the house.
And the thing is, I kind of wanted that seat, but I didn't think Aries would want it because he's a big guy, like muscular. Don't get fucking offended. He's a god of war.
See the door.
Oh, yeah.
But I succumbed to Raven Shadow wanting to switch, not because of his stupid ass fucking side profile, but because this is his house, it's his studio,
Thank you.
that's his couch, and so I figured, let him sit there. It's his place. Let him sit wherever he wants.
Now, mind you, we switched everything before you got here. He thought you were coming. Hurry up, quick! Switch mics. Switch the mic. Switch the headphones over, and then as you walked in, you mind if we switch seats? Even though everything was
What?
already changed.
Well, I still asked them like a fucking gentleman. I said, "Hey, man, do you mind if I switch?"
And what
You
would
did ask.
what would have happened if he said no?
Well, I said, "Well, all right, then go fuck yourself." But I mean, that's why I said, I want to sit where Johnny's sitting because he has really cool, like fucking relaxing blue lighting.
You can get that lighting too.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work as well in a red room.
Do you want me to get red lighting? Would that make you feel better, Raven Shadow?
I don't know. You got the blue
Yes.
going on. We got the deep maroon color going
Thank
on
you.
here.
Yeah, you got a bunch of deep maroons in there.
Actually, I recently come into what do you call it? Acquiring. There you go.
Come into
I don't know.
acquire.
What are you talking
I
about?
came into acquiring lately. One of those bulbs that have different light settings with remote control.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that's
That's
neat.
nice.
Those
work,
are neat.
yeah, those work better in a white room.
With black.
Hey guys, I have a co-host right now.
Oh shit!
Hey, Ozzy.
I was in the house. Oh, giving kisses
Guess where that tongue was about 3 minutes ago?
on his penis. Sorry, man. A dog's mouth is cleaner than ours.
Ozzy.
How about the only good thing about our conference call last night, Johnny, was when
Jesus, what the hell is that?
He's
That's his
team
tail.
3.
No, there was something big and hairy going across the. Oh, it was your arm.
That was Ozzy.
No, that was your arm, dude.
Oh.
You got fucking hairy forearms, dude.
How's the
You're
business?
you're a Sasquatch.
Speak for the man that's fucking has hair like a mannequin.
I love that movie, Mannequin.
It's true.
What about part 2?
On the move.
Yeah.
Do you have the same cat? The same McCarthy?
No.
Right?
No, it didn't.
It didn't have Kim Cattrall, right?
No, it was a whole new cast.
No, it was a whole new cast. But it also had what was his name? He was just at not Rocket Shock. Con.
Bernie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bernie was. He was in it.
Because part 1 was McCarthy, Kim Cattrall,
And
Harris.
G.W. Harris.
and
Or G.W. Bailey. Yeah, Harris.
and
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Yeah. Clarence, was that Clarence Clemens or? Oh, no.
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence. Oh.
Judge Clarence Thomas.
Whatever his name was.
Oh, Meshack Taylor.
Meshack Taylor.
I was not even
That's
close
it.
to Clarence.
Yeah.
Yeah, from later on, Designing Women.
Yeah.
With Delta Burke.
That's right. With Delta Burke.
Delta
With
Annie Potts.
Dixie Carter.
Dixie Carter. Yeah,
Who was Mr. Drummond's wife in the later episodes of Different Strokes,
When
who was replaced by Marianne Mobley.
Now, he got married. Now, they brought in a kid, much like other shows that had the downfall. They brought in like some redhead, right?
Yeah, Danny Cooksey. He was in Hey Dude on Nickelodeon, but he's also the kid who played Edward Furlong's friend in Terminator 2.
Oh shit! Yeah, with the mullet.
Yeah,
He was also in a band called Bad for Good.
yeah, he was.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
We're not talking about bands.
What's his name again?
Danny Cooksey.
Danny Cooksey. Holy shit! Yeah.
Cooksey.
I had a really thing for the girls on Hey Dude.
I never watched Hey Dude
Yeah, you would. I was.
by then.
Yeah, I was coming up, but yeah. Hey Dude was my jam back in the day. I like that.
And then we all know what happened to the great Gary Coleman. You know,
Who's the? Oh, he passed, right?
yeah, he died. He's dead.
He's dead.
One of the greatest actors of our generation.
I don't think you're right, but
Look. Where else can you find a 12-year-old playing a 7-year-old? You
Webster.
can't.
he,
Yeah, but he didn't branch out enough after that. You know, at least Gary Coleman had a film career. He had a film career too.
He made a movie. He didn't have a
Yeah,
film
he had,
career.
yeah.
He had a minor film career. He did Jimmy the Kid. Have you ever seen Jimmy the Kid?
I have.
With Paul LaMatt and Dee Wallace.
You have a bigger film career than him.
You might be right.
Like I think you have more IMDb creds than Sir Gary Coleman.
You're right.
He'd be a great actor if he was 6'3" in real life.
Oh yeah, he'd be the next Denzel Washington.
No, I mean if he played small, but he was really tall.
That's a hell of an acting job right there.
Yeah.
You know, and Dana Plato, she died.
Yeah, it's too bad. Willis is still alive though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Willis is still kicking.
How about Dudley? What happened to him?
Dudley's still alive. He's a minister now.
How the fuck do you know this shit? This is insane. It is insane.
Shavar Ross. He's a minister now, and he was also in Friday the 13th Part 5.
Jesus Christ. The dude can't remember what he had for lunch today, but he can remember all this shit.
God damn. I liked Dudley, who was kind of like he had Danny Glover kind of vibe.
Yeah,
before Danny Glover.
he had like major overbite.
Yeah,
know,
with a big mustache.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, Dudley?
Yeah, he was like fucking Freddie Mercury meets
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
You're so on point with
Right,
that. Holy shit, I don't believe it. You are so on point. Oh my god. And let's see, his friend Robbie, with the red hair.
Yeah, the white kid, right?
The white kid with the red hair, yeah. And then there was Mr. Horton, the bike salesman.
Oh, that was only that one episode.
Yeah. You know what? No,
Actually, no, that was 2 episodes. It was a two-parter. It was a twofer.
Two very special episodes.
no wonder no one calls the fucking Maytag repairman. It is what fucking happens. Yeah.
Well-
Why'd you bring your washer and dryer in and watch some of these pornos?
Well, you know what's funny about that? That's played by the same guy.
That's what I'm saying.
Because before the Maytag repairman used to be played by another guy. He died and Gordon Jump, no pun intended, jumped in.
That's fair. That's fucking weird. And he was King Vespa, right?
No. That was
No, that was Dick Van Patten.
Is that Dick Van Patten?
That's Dick Van Patten. Dick Van Patten, who did Eight is Enough, and he also was in what the hell is the name of that goddamn movie? High Anxiety.
Wait, Dick Van Patten wasn't the guy from the bike shop?
No, that was Gordon Jump.
Really?
Yeah,
he did a lot of sitcoms.
Gordon Jump did WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is insane.
With Howard Hess.
Yes.
With Howard Hessman.
I love how this almost steered into music, and MZ went, no, back to sitcoms.
Yeah, mention of Freddie Mercury, and he talks about looking like Danny Glover.
No, that was
Jesus.
Dudley's dad. No, Raven Shadow has it right. I never really gave it much thought, except for the fact that I know the guy had like a major overbite.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Yeah, it was something.
It's like, he had there was one episode where he had like a smoking problem. I couldn't help that, Dudley. I tried to smoke. All this other shit.
Yeah, right. That's a good impression.
But yeah, that's dead on. Freddie Mercury meets Danny Glover. that is so dead on. I can't believe it.
It's like fucking Danny Mercury. Do that mashup.
Wow. What were we doing again tonight?
I'm gonna look up Dudley's dad.
You gotta type that in, Dudley's dad, see what happens.
If he comes up, that'd be fucking outrageous.
Corny's tuning in now.
Thank you, Corny.
Corny, we got Marion, we got X.
Look at this. I put in Dudley's dad on Google, and it went Dudley's dad in different strokes.
Fucking ain't right. Yep.
Well, how many Dudleys are there in the world?
Bicycle. Johnny, put that on the web's one of the cameras to show people.
Put what on?
Dudley's dad.
You can't see it.
Show Johnny.
It's on there.
Show the better one.
What's his name? His name is Bob Brayman.
Yeah. He's good. Put him in a movie. I like that guy.
Yeah, sure.
He's definitely got a Steve Harvey vibe with the teeth and the mustache going.
Yeah, that one too, yeah.
Oh my God, look at this fucking guy.
But he was a big dude too. He had to have been like over 6'1", right? Like
I don't know.
He should have went to the fucking bike shop and tuned that fucking dude up. That's a fucking
Tuned him up
yeah.
at the bike shop. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, Dudley's dad from Different Strokes. Bob Brayman. That's his name. What an actor.
what a talent.
You know what? We might be the only people in the whole entire world, probably in the past 20 years, or probably in the past 30 years, 35 years, that's ever said his name.
Hashtag, what's his name? Bob, what's his name?
Brayman.
Bob Bay. He's good. Bring him back.
Yeah. Is he dead?
Hope not.
I hope not. Shit, that would piss me off. Because, I mean, that's an actor right there.
It's a real fine actor.
That's an actor right there.
Fuck you, De Niro. Okay. Go fuck yourself, Pacino.
Ted Ramsey, is that who you're showing pictures of?
Ted Ramsey?
Who are you showing pictures of?
Ramsey.
Bob Brayman
Oh, okay.
from Different Strokes.
Oh. Ted Ramsey was Dudley's adoptive father.
Oh, wait. There was something about that. Wait, he was adopted? Yeah, so, wait a minute. Is that right?
Wait, Dudley was adopted? Arnold adopted, and so was Willis.
Because I know on Web, his dad was somebody else, and they had a kind of cantankerous relationship.
I never understood that show at all. I never understood how he became the kid of
Mam
Susan.
and George.
Yeah, George and Mam. What the hell is that, Mam? What the hell is that?
That was a very special episode because she was concerned. She was concerned that Webster would call her Mam and not Mom. And I'm paraphrasing the episode a little bit, but it's very touching at the end when he was like, well, you're my Mam. Like, basically that was a vibe that only they had together. So
Yeah.
he gave her that name because no one else has that, or something to that effect, where, everyone has a mom, but he has a Mam kind of thing.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up. You know what else is
Fucking moving.
You know what else is fucked up? And I kind of, I think you forget it. It has to do with Different Strokes, and something that I noticed about that show, like back, like when I was a kid watching that show growing up, like back in 1980, 81, 82, I noticed this.
Sure.
And it's just something so ridiculous. But the more I see it, the more I see how obvious it is that they tried to pull this off as a bit. I don't even want to talk about it.
Dynamite fucking drop it. Where the fuck you going with that?
I can't even talk about it. I won't talk about it on the air.
Oh my God! Wow, it's something NZ won't talk about on the air.
It's well, given the current state of today's country, I refused to talk about it on the air.
So, bouquet of dildos, fine.
Yeah.
Bring the head of Lindsay Lohan, whatever the fuck.
Bring him the face.
All the classic. Bring the face of Lindsay Lohan.
Yep.
Check out Trick or Treat Radio Greatest Hits, volumes 1 through 3. You'll hear all the things Zero can say.
But I have a big question for you. MZ probably knows what this is, but who wrote the theme song to Different Strokes?
Oh, well, I don't know who. If the same person who wrote it is the same person who sung it, that would be Alan Thicke.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Good old
The
Alan.
Alan.
Yep.
He's big in the pants.
Is that true?
Right now, he's big in the coffin because he's dead.
Jesus Christ. That's okay to say, though. That's good.
He's filling up a coffin.
He's got 2 coffins.
Or in the urn. I don't know.
Jesus. Or maybe he's in one of those. Have you guys seen these new biodegradable burial things? I can't remember what they're called, but apparently Luke Perry was in one. Have you guys hear about these?
Oh, they grow like a tree or some shit as a result. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's what you need is some dog pissing on you. Homeless guy, or somebody who really needs to take a leak,
Oh,
I'm probably not going to concern.
we're going to probably talk about some homeless people in that movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't even fucking know where to begin about that flick, man.
How, Rachel, how do you want to be? What do you want to happen when you pass on?
I'm hoping that I don't. I'm hoping I'm that percentage that just keeps the party going.
What percentage is
Immortal?
Yeah, what percentage?
You drink too much and you smoke too much. The fact that you're alive now is a miracle.
Yeah.
I am a fucking miracle because I've exceeded expectations. That's fair. But no, I think no. I want a nice mausoleum.
Is that
your own mausoleum?
Yeah, you guys can come too. Trick or Treat Radio mausoleum, and maybe can't do it, but maybe Johnny, my dying wish, I want you to set up like an interactive thing, or maybe like you can like kind of go into like a museum, like press Umbaleo, and I can like say stuff, and maybe there's pictures of me, NCW stuff, and you can kind of view that, and you can smoke in there.
No, you can't. No one's
it'll
going to
be-
smoke in the future. Only dummies
Well,
smoke right now.
No one's going to smoke in the future.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You're thinking too far into the future.
Yeah.
Shadow. Year and a half.
Yeah. People are still going to smoke in 2022, Johnny. Okay. But no, you can see me and kind of like, I don't know, look at me or something. I don't know. I don't want to be cremated though. I still want to have my body be preserved, just in case I'm hit by like a ray from space and it kind of brings me back to life. You know, like,
why don't you go
What about-
the Ted Williams route?
Oh,
yeah, we don't have the technology yet for that, and the problem is, then I'm like, what, a fucking head?
Give you a
well-
big body.
That's cool. Give me that fucking now while I'm alive.
Maybe.
Yeah, like put me on like D Rook's body. Then we'll be in fucking business.
What? So you could contaminate that one too?
Oh, put me on like the thing with two heads, like me and D Rook on the same body. That would be outrageous.
That would be awesome.
So be like lifting weights in one, that we smoking butts in the other. You're doing good, D Rook.
Evil Corny wants to know, was MZ hinting out that Mr. Drummond was a flat earther?
Wow. Is that true?
What?
Were you hinting that Mr. Drummond was a flat earther?
No. No.
Alright.
I think Corny has some inside scoop.
No. I mean, we none of us seem to know what Mr. Drummond ever did for a living. Just the fact that he lived in a giant penthouse and brought in all this cash, but no one seems to really know what he did.
And I mean, I kind of think I do know where you're going, MZ. I don't think it's overall bad, but I do think Different Strokes and Night Court would be two shows that would be super rad remade now on like FX. Even like what if you flipped it, where it's white kids living with a black family. Shake up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know. But what was the association with the Drummonds and Arnold and Willis's dad? Did the dad work for him?
Yeah,
He was
the
a
mother.
plantation owner. Was.
But they were friends, right? They had some association.
Their mother used to be his maid.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and he made a promise on when she died that if he made a promise to both of them that if mom passed, that he would take care of their kids, and that's how that's how that all came about.
But both parents died?
Yeah.
Was there a car accident or something?
Oh
No. I'm pretty sure the father wasn't in the picture. It was just the mother, and then she died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But I feel that would have been a plot for later on. What? Like the dad never came.
They never
Came
got
back.
that far.
It got pretty fucking far, dude. If you watch early episodes, and then they had to bring in a little kid.
Look, they brought back Will Smith's illegitimate dad on Fresh Prince, but they didn't do it on Different Strokes.
Yeah,
He never came back. He was never around.
I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
He went bye bye. Oh yeah, it's a missed opportunity. Sure, when you looking back in retrospect.
And then,
But,
then Mrs. Garrett, was she Mrs. Garrett on Different Strokes before Facts of Life?
Yeah, that's exactly where she got it from. There's the episodes where Kimberly went to Eastdale, or Eastland, not Eastdale, Eastland.
Oh yeah.
And Kimberly went to Eastland, and there was this whole deal where they had a play going on or something, the girls of Eastland, and Kimberly asked Mrs. Garrett to help with the costumes. So she did, and she kind of liked what was going on, kind of like the vibe there. Said, fuck this, I ain't working for Mr. Drummond anymore.
Fuck you,
So-
Mr. D.
Yeah, fuck you, Mr. D. And then that's when she hiked up her skirt and took off. Whoa!
Whoa.
After that came Adelaide, who was played by Nidra Voles,
Who was also in Moving Violations.
who was also in Moving
How the
Violence.
fuck
Clara.
do you know all this?
with Clara Peller.
Oh my God!
Why is my back all wet?
You're in the men's room.
After when Nidra Voles left, or I think she died. I think she died at that point. She was replaced by Pearl, who was played by Mary Jo Catlett.
who had like the cook vibe. She was kind of like
Yeah. She was the happy, jolly woman.
Yeah.
And she
Drank a
was
lot.
well. She was in Serial Mom, but she's best known as one of the characters in SpongeBob SquarePants.
I would say she's not best known as that.
People who watch,
14.
people who watch SpongeBob would know that. So and that's where that whole show ended.
How-
And then in '86.
MZ, how the
Yeah?
fuck do you know all this?
I don't know.
Do you continue to brush up on this, or do you sure have a really good memory for this shit?
I just have a really good memory. I got it for Ash versus the Evil Dead, but now that shit the bed. So I got Different Strokes. So they play 2 episodes back to back when I get home from work, and I watch them. Okay, so fuck you.
You with you do these crazy math percentages, and your knowledge of this is off the chart.
You know, I gotta test you here. Yeah, a British sitcom that aired 1 episode starring Hitler.
Heil, honey, I'm home.
Heil, honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
He mentioned that
Yeah.
recently.
Did
Yeah.
he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Heil, honey, I'm home. Yeah, and that's how it all. And that's how that fucking episode starts. A guy who's dressed up as Hitler walks through your door. He goes, "Heil, honey, I'm home." Yeah.
And I think he has like,
Ah! What the fuck you do?
He unplugged his headphones.
Oh, for Christ's
He
sake!
scared Oliver too. Jesus.
Poor Ollie.
What
Look at Ollie. Look at the face on him. Oh.
What the fuck? He's scared Ollie?
MZ, you have to help him with that.
he can't reach it. So Raven Shadow unplugged his headphones, and now he can't get back.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, people watching on video, you're really getting a bonus here.
Plug empty.
that's good.
Empty doing tech. Well, can you hear anything?
Okay, we're good. Hi, Ollie.
Is Ollie on camera?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Why'd you scare him?
Although I didn't scare. Well, no, I think because when I was talking, my foot came down and I head because I unplugged the.
Yeah, you shouted,
my
and the dog
headphones.
jumped, so
Yeah.
you scared the dog.
Is it like when I'm hurt?
Nah, I love Different Strokes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Durr.
You know, and the teacher, Miss Chung, the substitute teacher for a day was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
There was an episode of that.
Dice Clay was the gooch.
No, Dice Clay wasn't the gooch. Dice Clay was Willis's so-called quote-unquote friend who had a crush on his sister Kimberly.
I don't
The
think so.
gooch.
he was getting bullied by a girl.
There's the girl who was in the wheelchair, that little wheelchair who had the
problems.
the problems.
Soleil Moonfry did a guest appearance.
Soleil moved. Yes, yeah. Wow, dude.
And it threw me off because she wasn't Punky Brewster. I thought it was going to be like a crossover, but I was like,
But years later, Soleil Moon Frye played a love interest to Screech on Saved by the Bell.
Interesting.
In later years, I think around 1994, I want to say.
Set in what?
Yeah, 1990. Yeah, 94, 93, 94, somewhere around there.
I didn't watch Saved by the Bell because like those kids wouldn't hang out with me in high school.
Well, they wouldn't hang out with me either.
Screech would hang out with the both of you.
But
yeah.
I like
To
Kelly.
be fair, yeah.
I liked Kelly Kapowski, and I still do. So there's that.
I like
Oh,
Locke
she-
Voorhees.
She looks better than ever.
No kidding, right?
Locke Voorhees. So,
Lark Voorhees was pretty cute. You should see her now. Well, she's a bit of a loon now, but
She was a bit of a loom back then. They just hit it.
she doesn't look well. She doesn't look well.
oh, it doesn't. Fucking that sucks getting old.
It's getting old. Not for me though.
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
I'm 48 and I still act like this. What's wrong with me?
So many fucking things. Corny, tell him.
Yeah.
All right.
What else?
Enough fucking
Yeah,
sitcom talk. Jesus
All right,
Christ.
Come on, take the helm, baby. Come on.
MZ, you just got to get your own show. Like, we got to, maybe a future Patreon thing we'll do just like sitcom talk or something, if people want that.
Yeah, if people want that.
Oh, people do?
God damn it.
So we'll
Gooch.
start to the gooch. We'll,
It's good for the goose. It's good for the.
Just good for the game.
what's good for the gooch is good for the what?
Gander.
Good for the gooch.
I think I see episode time.
Yeah. I see one possibility. These fucking guys.
Dear God, what the hell was that? Are you guys for real?
They did a high five explosion for those that aren't watching the video
Backwards.
Oh,
The
yeah.
back of their hand.
It was a reverse fist bump backwards.
That's right.
with an explosion.
Yes.
Corny says Lisa Turtle had the worst name ever. No one has the last name Turtle.
Right. Right. I always thought that was
True. Well, there was Turtle from Entourage, but he was a douche.
Pretty sure that was a nickname too.
Oh yeah, he sucked.
turtle.
I like turtles.
Yeah.
All right, let's start to wind this shit down. So, we haven't done this in a while, so people might forget who's who. Maybe we'll do a quick little intro for everyone. So, for those not in the know, I'm Johnny Wolfenstein, the pencil pusher and producer of media for Trick or Treat Radio. We also have the vulgar guru of horror, star of Blood Pigs, Fetus, and the upcoming Morbid Tales and Septic, one-time contributor for Horror Hound magazine, Monster Zero.
Hi, everybody.
You got to talk in the mic.
Hi, everybody.
We have the triumph riding, stage erecting, whiskey drinking, chief of security, the warrior of nor'easters, America's sweetheart, Rick Rubin's stunt double, he drinks and breaks things, Ares, god of war.
Hello.
And we also have, I hesitate to say, associate producer.
Oh, you can say it. You can say it. Don't panic, Johnny. Just say it. It'll set you free.
More of a grip at this point.
Yeah.
Running around grabbing cables. He's a grip.
The glorified grip.
Well, I think we got a new one.
No, we don't.
I'll accept that one. That one can go.
How about the glorious grip? How was that?
Nope. All right, he is the glorified grip. He's the chain-smoking, hand-kissing, baby-shaking, lorazepam-loving, former comic book reading nerd, official smoke chamber for the Lair of Lost Swag, the Pimper Promotions, the Italian rapscallion, professional bullshitter, the cool principal, the proprietor and secretary of the sexy speakeasy right across the hall, Mr. Runtime, the Duke of Degeneracy, and the Parisian Brewhall himself, Michael Ravenshadow.
That's right, Johnny. I'm very excited. I'm very excited that my past failures have allowed me to broadcast live with my friends here on Trick or Treat Radio. I'm glad things worked out. We're having some extra rooms.
What failures, like, he moved. That's why we're here.
Well, but there's a reason why I have extra
That he has
spaces.
space, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. This wasn't always a studio. You know what I'm saying? Things went askew, and I had extra space. So I put some fucking paint in the walls, put up some fucking posters, and invited you motherfuckers over.
Well, you don't have to worry about the cops coming anymore.
That's true. Yeah, maybe say no. Your shit happens here sometimes.
All right, so those are some intros. Now, if you guys want to help support the show, as you can tell, we need all the help we can get because we have a busted computer. We're running off of Ravenshadow's laptop, which, I don't know, maybe that'll be a solution for the future. Who knows? But, so computer that we bought a few weeks ago is busted, so we're going to return it But we need to, I think we do need to get some extra gear. If anyone wants to help contribute, if you're not already on our Patreon, head on over to patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And just to let you folks know, things are still crazy around here. Talking about my new place, I haven't even touched the studio since last week. It's still, like Corny said, like the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the like storage facility at the end. That's kind of what it looks like still. So, still working on that and unpacking and getting shit set up and everything. So things have been a little hectic. We will have some content in September, though, for Patreon. We'll make sure we get that out there. But if you guys want to support, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. It's as little as $2. You can help support the show and the studios. So go check that out. You can get some exclusive content and give it a look, and it'll help us out. Also, if you guys shop on Amazon, which I know most of you do, head on over to trickortreatradio.com, scroll down, look for the logo, for the Amazon logo, click on it, and then it's going to bring you right to Amazon. Input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session gets attributed to us. It doesn't cost any extra, Raven Shadow.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. So if you guys want to help out, let's say you can't contribute via Patreon, or if you do contribute via Patreon, you can also do the Amazon link. And if you guys want, go to trickortreatradio.com, click on the store. We do have some digital content available. There is the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio, volumes 1 through 3. You can check those out if you just want to spend a couple bucks. And look for those. So, Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch Under the Silver Lake again, potentially. What did you do to prepare for this fucking movie?
Well, the first night I spent fucking 2 hours in the studio fucking making sure everything was plugged in.
That's true, you did.
And then the next night, spent about an hour and a half in the studio apologizing to you, Johnny. I'll be honest with you. I was feeling the flow of judgment all around me. And it kind of got me in the place. No, I was fucking sad. I was sad. I was in the studio by myself. Ollie was in the other room. I wouldn't let him in. I had the lights off. My clothes off, right, Aries? And I was kind of having a moment thinking about what I'm going to do. I promised people the studio. I promised a new era. I promised you a new era, John. I let you down. I felt bad about that. And then tech support came and said it wasn't my fault, so I got over it. And I think what I'm trying to say is that I want you to come back, Johnny. Seriously, just stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
Come back, dude. Listen, I'll convert, dude. I'll convert if you come back, all right?
You'll convert to what? Religion?
The fucking vegans. No, the veganism thing that you do. I'll
I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, will you quit smoking, quit drinking, and turn vegan?
That's a lot of fucking things, Johnny. I said I'd become a fucking vegan, okay? I would.
I'm gonna give that Impossible Burger at Burger King a shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, I eat fake chicken too. I'm sure the stuff fucking from Tyson ain't that fucking real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. But no, seriously, just come home, seriously. I'm sorry. Not zero. Just stop it. But until Johnny, comes back to New England, and and even when we get a new studio or new equipment with new sound, you better believe I did and will. Look at you, Aries. Strap on.
The following message. Hey there, this is R.A. Salvatore. Call me Bob. And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
The following message is a paid advertisement for The Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips, the beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the cult of muscle.
And we are back on Trick or Treat Radio. Some of us are back anyways.
The important one.
Yes, exactly. The important ones are here. So
This is Raven Chat. Where the hell could he be?
I saw MZ laughing during the dangerously aroused goblin. You love that goblin.
That's all. That was the best thing about that goddamn movie. It still is.
All right.
The Goblin is amazing. He should have had his own spin-off. He should have had his own series of movies just based on him doing that alone.
Yeah, just that. All right, well, now we're going to talk about a movie called Under the Silver Lake. This film is rated R, is 2 hours, 19 minutes, and it is listed as a comedy crime drama. This one is definitely a little difficult to categorize, I believe. And it is directed and written by David Robert Mitchell. You may remember him from It Follows, who he wrote and directed that as well. And the film stars Andrew Garfield, Wendy Vanden Heuvel. Well, this is actually cast in order of appearance. So let me go. Andrew Garfield, obviously. Riley Keough, Ricky Lindholm. Let me cherry pick some others. It did have Topher Grace in it as well, in a very sort of like interesting sort of downplayed role. I didn't even recognize him at first. It also has MZ, your boy, Sky Alabar.
Yeah.
From the Greasy Strangler, of course.
Yep.
As I mentioned, Topher Grace. And then it's got a bunch of other folks. Luke Baines as Jesus. And a bunch of other folks as well. A lot of tertiary characters in this, so it's got a lot of appearances and actors. The synopsis: Sam, a disenchanted young man, finds a mysterious woman swimming in his apartment's pool one night. The next morning, she disappears. Sam sets off across L.A. to find her, and along the way, he uncovers a conspiracy far more bizarre. All right. This is going to be an interesting one to discuss. I know you guys, all of you guys, were kind of interested in talking about this last week. You guys had expressed, kind of curious what everyone thought. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to talk about it at all, but I did watch it last night, like I said, and I am equally interested in getting everyone's take on this. So, as I mentioned, this was the follow-up to It Follows from director David Robert Mitchell. And he also did one other film, the Myth of the American Sleepover, which got some pretty good praise in festivals and whatnot. But I haven't seen it yet. So I'm definitely curious to check that one out because I liked It Follows, and I guess we'll find out soon enough whether I liked Under the Silver Lake.
I did hear about that movie, the sleepover one.
You did hear about it, huh? Oh, it's probably not the movie that you're thinking of, Raven Shadow.
It's not, even like there was like a no hairbrush incident.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
Pillow fights, and all of a sudden, no, that's very crass of you, John. I heard of it.
Good for you.
Yeah, you know.
So all right. So this is an interesting flick. I'll thriller is sort of how I would characterize it. And I also feel it was almost an homage to cinema over the years.
I definitely got that feeling that throughout the whole movie it almost looked like it was changing directors like every 15 minutes as this movie progressed.
Well, I'll agree and disagree because I think it had a unified vision throughout. Like I think it definitely felt like the same voice that was kind of navigating through, but I also did feel that there was a lot of nods and sort of interesting like sort of homages. Like I would characterize this almost like the way Quentin Tarantino does his films. I think that's kind of what David Robert Mitchell did a little bit in this.
That's interesting. I mean, when Aries just said that, like, what kind of came to me was like an anthology movie that was one movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what stood out to me too was, see, I don't know if noir was something I would say, John. I mean, I think noir, I'm thinking like Sam Spade.
I definitely think so. Andrew Garfield's character in this, Sam, was absolutely the down on his luck, detective. Like he embodied that a lot, I think, but more of in a modern way.
Yeah, it definitely had a noir style, somewhat of like a neo noir.
Yes.
Style. Yes, if there is such a thing, and if there wasn't, there is one now.
There is, yeah.
Okay.
And what really caught me was all the things in the background. Whether it was the magazines, there was always something going on.
Oh yeah.
From times past. Yep. I mean, it was set in modern day, to the best of my knowledge, like in the 2000s. But everything they had was old.
Well, if you remember, did you see It Follows, Raven Shadow? I don't recall.
I did. I mean, not with you guys. I saw it either probably on Netflix. If it was on that, probably. Okay.
So if you recall in It Follows, and one of the things that kind of called out was I really like the way he handles technology. He sort of has a lot of it. He basically cherry picks from time and uses things to his advantage. And I actually heard him talk about this. He doesn't talk about this movie very much. He doesn't give any insight or tell you what it's about. He's very clear about not giving away what he he wants people to interpret it the way that they want to. He doesn't really hold something in your hand, So that I thought was kind of interesting. Do you guys, because he had that in It Follows with that little, if you guys remember that kind of like little reading tablet or whatever that the girl had, the like clamshell thing, and so he kind of uses some interesting stuff. So I actually like that. And when we talked to, if you guys remember, when we talked to Joe Bigos and shit, I'm drawing a blank on his last name, but what's that?
Keating.
Mickey Keating, yeah. When we had those guys on, they had talked about how they just preferred, because it's too easy to kind of like write with, I'll just Google it or whatever, and they like that. It just adds more suspense because you can't just grab your cell phone and call someone or text someone, So I totally am with that. And the interesting thing is they did use modern day technology because Sam, Andrew Garfield's character, at one point did a Google search towards the end. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Because even like they would have what stood out to me was like old issues of Nintendo Power or old comic books.
Playboys.
Playboys. And even like when they're hanging out, playing, a Super Mario Brothers game, but the TV was on like a modern day.
Yeah.
Like he in his apartment, Sam had like it was obviously wasn't the most expensive flat screen, but it was definitely a modern TV amongst all, older things.
Yeah, for sure. So I think that's interesting, and one of the things I will say is I I don't see movies like this very often. This is kind of an outlier and kind of in a sense an original sort of composition or original piece, but I like when movies have all these disparate elements of like all these little story bits, but they all fit within the world, the context of the world. Like I thought that was interesting with the dog killer, with the owl, stalker or whatever. I can't remember what they called the owl person.
Yeah, the kind of that's the thing. It opens up with some shit already going on. It opens up with the girl, putting on the glass, beware the dog killer or something like that.
Yeah.
Great fucking start to a movie. Ollie hated that. He went upstairs.
Honestly, I was a little worried when I saw that at the beginning. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, and they make a fucking reference to a Bijan, by the way.
They do. I know. I thought about you and Ollie.
I was pissed.
It's a movie. Calm down.
Yeah, well, still did make the Amy fucking.
It's a goddamn movie.
Well, fine. Maybe you.
So.
Nah.
Yeah, go ahead, MC. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, actions with them were really interesting and kind of illuminated some different things about Sam.
Yeah, so let's talk about So in the gist of it is Sam gets attracted to this blonde that's in his apartment complex that goes away, and he thinks that maybe something bad has happened to her. So he's on a journey to find this girl that brings him amongst all these weird, interesting, I don't know the big words like Johnny does, but these characters. But there are weird questions about Sam too. Like, what is he doing? He's obviously down his luck. He's having problems with his landlord, but he'll talk to his mom. And, honey, are you working? Yeah, I'm working now. Or even when he's at that party, his friend asked him, "Are you working?" Yeah, I'm working. So I kind of wondered what's he doing?
He's lying his ass off is what he's doing.
And fair to his mom. I then for a minute though, when he talked to his friend when he was working that kind of like party, a minute I'm like, is he kind of like a male prostitute? Like, is that kind of what he's doing? Just like why would his friend ask if he's working when he's at like a?
I think it's kind of widely known that he has been unemployed, and it's someone that's concerned about him. Are you working? You have a job?
Oh,
and he's lying. He's scared of this person. Scared of, not physically, but this person's going to get on them. Like
bust his jobs?
Yeah. Like if I was asking you have a job yet?
Yeah.
You would lie to me.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Because he'd probably hit me with a mallet.
Yeah. And one other interesting thing is obviously the threat of him becoming homeless was kind of a real thing because he got an eviction notice like right at the beginning of the film. And that was kind of an interesting thing that kind of works its way throughout,
That's funny, John, especially when we hear his views on the homeless.
Exactly, right.
Later on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to fucking unpack here. And I don't know how. Yeah, no, definitely. I will say this, though. I like second Spider-Man. He was good in this. Andrew Garfield.
Is that like second Patsy?
Yes, exactly.
I did not like seeing Spider-Man's ass.
Well,
that ruined my childhood.
Yeah. Or seeing it in action.
Even though this Spider-Man was not part of my childhood, I did not want to see Spider-Man's ass.
I think it was exciting, and there was some great nods to Spider-Man too. So I don't know if that was the director taking the piss.
Oh, I like the comic book.
Right. So can we say that scene, Johnny? Is that a spoiler?
Oh, come on. I mean, it's
go
funny.
For it.
Yeah, he picks up a Spider-Man comic book, and because of something that happened to him before, he already has a sticky substance on his hand. It's not dirty. No, it's
Yeah.
But he can't get rid of the Spider-Man comic, and it's hysterical.
So yeah, so he wakes up and it's stuck to his hand. He's trying to like fucking pull it off, but it's like stuck to his hand, and he keeps wearing red and blue.
Yes.
The red sweatshirt, the blue pants. That color scheme is throughout the movie in lots of parts. So it was definitely kind of like it was fucking intentional, right? There's no fucking
You would assume so, yeah.
ifs and buts about.
I actually did hear that question was asked to the director, David Robert Mitchell, and he said that it was actually written like that before Andrew Garfield was on board. So he actually didn't even plan that, but then it just, when it worked out, it was kind of like a funny little bit of kismet. You know, it was just kind of like, yeah, that's really funny now, you know?
Maybe, but I mean, you picked that Spider-Man comic. Like, okay, maybe, but it just seemed.
I don't know. You picked that Spider-Man with that with the color scheme of the clothing, and you just happen to pick Garfield to play the lead role. I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It's possible, but it's not likely.
Well, being that it was a Spider-Man comic, anyone happening to, it would be a funny thing.
True.
Someone getting a Spider-Man comic stuck to their hands,
that
would be funny. It just added to it that it was someone that played Spider-Man.
Yeah. And he was fine.
I mean, you know what? I found this movie to be a bit of what's the best word for it? Nuisance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, please elaborate.
Yeah.
Nuisance, yeah.
Yeah, I just felt very annoyed with this movie. You know, and this is going to be one of your favorite words, Aries. I felt that this movie just reeked of millennialism. This movie had just that vibe of day postmodern art. You know, like I feel like at times it got to be it you know, not that I can explain why. It just feels this way to me, that it kind of outsmarts itself. It's trying to be too artistic. It's got layers upon layers upon layers, and after you're done digging through all the layers, there's even more layers, and it just gets exhausting. Instead, you know, I mean, you got a pretty decent cast here, a good director from It Follows, because It Follows is great. You know, you got a typical, just they just want to try and make things a little bit more difficult. So it feels like, which is kind of ironic, really, when you think about it, because there's really no millennials in this movie. You know, that's kind of Garfield is not a millennial.
Yeah, he is.
No, he isn't. He was born before 1980. He was born 1977.
No,
I looked it up.
He can't be that old. He's not
Okay.
that old.
I looked it up on IMDb.
If he is that old, he wasn't playing that old.
He was born. He was born in '83.
So he's a millennial.
Oh, so he is a millennial. Oh,
and
fuck him.
every character is a millennial in this, regardless of when they were actually born.
All right. Well, all right. I'll go along with that.
Even you go along.
Aries, so you say.
So, IMDb says so. It might.
Yeah. He was born in 1946. Well, he fucking looks good, dude.
I don't necessarily agree with that. Like that.
I don't expect you to.
You flat out said I would.
Yeah, you
He's
did.
speaking for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak for Aries, and he's gonna hate millennials.
No, I would agree with him. He doesn't have to agree with me. Unless we're talking about the same thing.
My head hurts.
I just feel like this is a kind of movie in which everybody just craft services gave nothing out but charcoal water and avocado toast. You know, it's that kind of mentality in this movie. It just feels like that to me, and it's annoying.
So, because what happens behind the scenes?
Yeah.
It's my interpretation.
When the kid wasn't wearing tight pants and
skinny jeans.
What it was.
Skinny jeans with flannel, and everybody grew a big ass beard.
And they would all doing the dab dance, or whatever the fuck that is. Or
A
they were
dab
flossing. They were
dance.
flossing behind the scene. They were flossing.
Was Joss Whedon there?
Yeah, Joss Whedon was there.
I mean, there are times where it got really, unfortunately, it was far and few between as far as the scenes go, that things started to pick up and things started to get interesting, and then it would just labor into this just boring ass shit and just dialogue that just doesn't go anywhere. I was totally turned off by this.
There was some time. This is a long fucking 2 hours and whatever the fuck.
Oh, you ain't shitting.
Especially the last fucking half hour, like from the bum encounter.
In the cave or whatever that was, temple,
was
the
like,
temple.
Fucking get on with it.
Right? Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah.
It was just, let's wrap this
up
a little bit.
It's like the Dave Chappelle skit, wrap it up,
This almost plays out like it should have been a TV show or a Netflix show or whatever. That it should have been just a series of 6 or 7 episodes, because it does ramp up to almost the climax and then resets. So it almost plays out like a bunch. I'm making a mess.
Yeah, that's good.
I
think that's fine. Yeah, no open containers.
Yeah. It seems like, go get me a towel.
Well, he's ordering you around.
Just made a mess.
It exploded 5 minutes after I opened it. It just seems like it was set up, but a whole fucking roll? Really? Where you fucking at? Have a towel?
Use the towel and shut up.
This is compelling radio. Yeah, no, it just seems like it was more set up to be a series of shows rather than a movie, and especially with the length. I'm not saying it would have played out better, but it seems like that might have been the initial thought, and then it just went direction.
I'll say this: Andrew Garfield's character knows how to get girl.
Get girl.
Yeah.
I get girl.
I get girl.
I get girl.
He must have what, like 5 or 6 different women?
Yeah,
he had a harem going on.
Spidey had some amazing friends. I'll tell you that much.
He was slinging his web fluid all over the place.
He was the original swinger. That ain't web fluid, kids. Yeah, a lot of thrusting, a lot of nudity in the picture.
Yeah,
which was
his nudist neighbor who was like washing the windows or watering the plants.
Yeah.
Can we mention the whole Marilyn Monroe thing? Did anyone else catch that? The pool? No, I'm the only one.
When she was in the pool, or when
towards the middle to the end of the movie, ended up being a.
Oh yes. I know what he's talking about.
Girl swims up to the pool, jumps out, has a conversation. That was completely Marilyn Monroe, her last movie.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Like shot for shot.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that movie.
So let me take a quick look at my notes here, and I will say that technically this movie was one of the most beautiful ones that we've seen so far this year. I think the way it was shot, the tension built with these very slow camera movements, these slow pans and zooms. I thought it was gorgeous to look at. The cinematography was great, and the score was fucking phenomenal.
By Disaster Piece, thank you very much.
Yep, Disaster Piece, same artist who did the score for It Follows as well. And it's
no complaints there. No complaints there.
Yep, yeah, it's a great score. I actually listened to the score independent of the movie today, and it just without the visuals, it still really holds up. It's quite good, and music plays a big part in this. Even with the way that, in reading some more about it, Disaster Piece was involved early on because they had to write, that song by, was it Jesus and the Vampire?
Oh,
yeah.
The Vampire Brides?
Yeah.
Vampire was.
Yeah, so they had a song, and so they had to record that early on, and there was some performances as well. So apparently, Disaster Piece was pretty involved heavily. But to me, this sounded like this was kind of a throwback. Like this felt like a film that was made in like this is a Hollywood film. This was made in the Hollywood Hills, and I just feel a lot of inspiration was taken from classic Hollywood movies, and I got that feel from the score as well. And it had if I were to pick one director, a very Hitchcockian sort of feel to it throughout.
That's actually true. I was watching that with Mary, and it kind of said that in lots of scenes as well.
Yeah. Even there's that one scene where they're watching those two girls that were in the indie movie were watching themselves in the movie, and they were in a graveyard watching it, and then when they moved away, they were actually standing on Hitchcock's grave, which I thought was
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which was interesting. And also when he was in that bar, was it the Tomb Bar or the Grave Bar? I can't remember what it was called, the Grave Bar. And they were basically like drinking and eating off of gravestones from famous people.
Yeah, it's a fucking lot.
I would have to disagree with the Hitchcockian connection.
You don't think there was some references to that?
Oh no. I'm not talking about the references. I'm talking about the style of from the director. From the director here to Hitchcock, because Hitchcock was very, very controlling.
That I know, yeah.
He was very controlling. I do not see this director. I keep forgetting his name.
David Robert Mitchell.
Yeah, I do not see him being anywhere near controlling as Hitchcock was.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about visual cues. That's it.
Yeah, you still get the visualness of Hitchcock without the controlling.
Okay. I thought you were talking about.
No, the director wasn't a dick.
As far as I know.
Fuck you.
I mean, for all we know, hey, I mean, he did a great job in It Follows, but over 2 hours of this, yeah, he's a dick in my eyes.
Watch a 2-hour movie?
No, because Wolfie made me watch a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. But you just called the director a dick.
Yeah. Well, what am I going to do? Call Wolfie a dick?
Do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that. He'll kill me.
If you're blaming someone for this.
Yeah, co-blame.
Well, actually, Corny should get some blame because I saw that he posted that it was out, and I actually didn't even know that it was out at the time because I'd been kind of following this one, waiting for it to drop. And it just completely skipped by me.
Yeah, and he had a voicemail, so I'm actually curious to hear Coney's take on that later on. And can we just say something? My favorite scene in the fucking movie,
which is,
I don't know if this is a fucking spoiler, but you see something very un-Spider-Man like that Andrew Garfield does to the people who are running amok on the cars.
Oh, the kids?
Oh yeah.
That scene was fucking hilarious.
It's probably my favorite scene in the film. Yeah, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is that a spoiler?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I did. Yeah, I got a good chuckle out of that.
Listen, whatever the fuck this movie's about, I don't even know how I'm going to fucking critique it or even discuss it further. But let's just say that Andrew Garfield's having a night. He leaves. I think he leaves a beautiful lady's house, right? At that time, comes out and his car is fucking totally graffitied. It's cute. It's tuned up, keyed, and some kid, phallus on the fucking hood of the car.
Yeah.
And it's over, and all these little kids, mind you, are just fucking up. They're peeing on cars, running amok. So
they're like 9, 10 years old.
Yeah. They're not even like fucking teenagers.
I think they're like 12 or 13, maybe.
All right. Yeah, 13. All right. So they probably still have a bedtime, but so then he stalks them, trying to find them. And then as they're throwing eggs on cars, she shows up and he fucking tunes up. Like he fucking shoving eggs in their faces. And like it wasn't quite the curb stomp from fucking
American History.
Did he tune him up at the bike store?
Yeah. It wasn't that kind of tuned up, but like those kids know they were in a fight.
Go see Mr. Horton. Tell him I sent you.
Yeah. Very great scene. Spider-Man punched fucking 12-year-olds. They
Oh,
fucking deserved it.
And they
honey.
shoved an egg in his mouth.
Yeah. And there was blood. There was definitely some blood.
Oh
in
yeah,
that
well
scene.
the fact and they just like hauls up and decks the other kid. And
Didn't want to get like thrown into the car or something.
I
Yeah.
think it gave him like
Yeah,
a
well,
toss.
flying.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was hilarious, and I also got to say I loved the scene with the songwriter.
That was fucking
Oh yeah.
kind of cool. I mean, it does. It's a callback to that Quasar issue I talked about many years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Quasar.
But the way he played the keys and did stuff, it was kind of like
Yeah, he was just singing songs and like TV tunes and
he was just playing. It was just nice. It was you almost wanted to rewind and re-listen to that scene and listen to what he was playing rather than listen to the words that was coming out of his mouth.
Oh, I was
because he just even as he's talking, like the music is changing. Like I'm sure you only picked up half of what he was playing.
And that's fair. Basically, he's doing a medley of songs
Just throughout the eons of television.
Even I think beyond that. I think
Oh,
beyond
just
that.
everything.
I think even down to like Beethoven. He had some Beethoven shit up there, right? Some classical stuff, Johnny.
Yeah.
All the way to fucking Joan Jett. And some TV jingles.
Ozzy Osbourne, Nirvana. Yeah, like he definitely spanned like, popular music.
And Nirvana was the thing. There's definitely some Nirvana references.
Yeah, they talk about Kurt Cobain's guitar was there.
Yeah,
he was saying.
And that scene in the beginning when he's having sex with the girl, and he's like looking at the Kurt Cobain poster, talking about it.
Yeah. So there were things about this I really got into, and there were things that fucking just grinded to a halt to me. And I don't know, a lot of like weird conspiracy theories. I don't know if we'll ever find out what this movie's about.
Well,
explain it for you.
Yeah, and it's difficult. I tried to dig a little bit into it. And I watched it with T-Dog, and she has a great perspective into film, and she gets a lot of the visual cues that I wouldn't like. For instance, when he meets up with the homeless king, and he brings him to that tunnel, with the torch lit tunnel. Like that is like T-Dog had pointed out, that's kind of what you see in like a vision quest. Like you go through a lot of times when people have vision quests or just visions, like that it leads to that, like a torch lit tunnel that leads to like a bright light at the end, which is what he led to, and it led out to a grocery store. Is
I guess that only helps if you've ever had a vision quest. I've never had a vision quest, so I would never.
Well, you don't have to have one. You could have read about them.
I mean, it was an okay scene, but it was. But
I thought it was great. What led up to it? I don't want to say what led up to it because it was a neat little thing. I was trying to figure it out as he was trying to figure it out, and I was half right. So it was a neat little thing, and it was the whole vision quest thing. I actually kind of did pick up on that because it was such a vague thing he had to do to get found.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, that's too much of a coincidence to like, this is like more of a journey of the mind than anything.
Yeah.
And it was cool that, the blindfold and he's, you're seeing, but he's only hearing in conversations as he's passing by people. It was a very neat thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a lot of great, which I actually kind of liked. I liked that not that there wasn't resolution, but like I didn't want everything to tie up in a nice little bow. It would have been a little too convenient if we found out who the dog killer was and who the owl's kiss was and all that.
And it's almost like he was like a weird like Watcher meets Phantom Stranger in this weird, outlaw trail of fucking Vertigo madness. Like he intersected with all these different people because he too was kind of on the verge of being lost. And this quest took him on, bizarre journeys of bizarre characters that were all on the fringe of like society, from the mythic to the actual, tangible to the absurd. But I did think that Andrew was somebody. His character Sam was somebody when he had things in his pocket for no particular reason.
Oh, I actually agree with that. I was going to actually mention that. I actually watched, as people are wont to do on YouTube, people put together whatever, and there was a video basically showing hints as to Sam potentially being. This isn't necessarily a spoiler, I don't think, but because it's never fully explained. But there was, I saw a video of Sam is the dog killer, and they showed all these different things that would lead you to believe that. And yeah, it wasn't clearly stated, but when he was confronted by the homeless king, it definitely was like, he's like, why do you have these dog biscuits? And he's like, oh, it's, he lied about it, basically. I mean, in a way he did,
And I thought that really when the minute he had him, it's like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, I thought I was hoping for some resolution out of that myself.
I think that was intentionally left vague, where you're supposed to come up with your own conclusion as to whether he was or wasn't.
But maybe he did have more of a predatory way about him.
Because
with the women,
I'd actually got the feeling even before the dog biscuit thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not saying I was right.
Yeah.
I just got the feeling.
Yeah, and there's also, like, even when he shows up right in the beginning, in the opening scene in that store or the restaurant, like, you see people trying to take the "Beware the Dog Killer" off of the, spray painted on the glass, and it's kind of framed perfectly, like, for him, and then he comes upon and sees it later. So there's a few things that definitely allude to the fact that he could have been. It, once again, it's not laid out perfectly, but and you know what? Who knows? Was when he was looking at the girl, was he actually looking at the girl, or was he looking at her dog?
Interesting.
Or both.
Was the dog in that scene?
Yeah. I think the dog was on the because I think on the side of the pool or something.
Look, I think the director is an intelligent guy. For me personally, as far as the dog killer angle goes, I just thought it was in there. I don't know why it was in there. I mean, I wouldn't think it would have to be in there unless we were to believe that the lead character was the dog killer.
It could be a red herring.
Or it could be a red be a red herring. But if resolution, then there's really no point to having it ever at all. Now, like I said,
there is, simply because we're talking about it.
Right. And it just
yeah, but isn't that kind of like throwing us off our track here and talking about what's important in the film rather than talking about what's not important in the film, or having zero relevance at all?
No, because we're just talking about the film, and we're debating on what the film is about and what is important and what isn't important. Otherwise, we're just sitting here talking about sitcoms.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you make it sound like it's a bad thing. No, I like I said, I mean, obviously the director is a hell of a lot smarter than I'll ever be.
No argument? Huh? No argument?
No argument, thank you. But I just see it as sort of a waste.
Wait, that plot line or that?
Yeah. I mean, unless there's some sort of ending to it all, something that wraps it up.
But why do you need?
Even if none of the other stories? Because I would like to have one.
What about
why does everything?
That's what you want. That's what you want. It's not made for you.
Yeah. All right then.
What's wrong with you coming up with your own ending?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
You unimaginative bastard.
But I don't want.
Then don't watch the fucking movies.
Well, I have to watch the movie. That's the thing.
You don't have to watch the movie.
I mean, this movie.
I know you believe that.
He doesn't believe that. But this is that type of movie that makes you think. You don't like movies that make you think?
I like movies that make me think, but not think to the point where it's just going to drive me nuts.
Good movies like Porky's, Butt Crack.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Citizen
You know,
Patrol.
real cinema. You know.
And no, I mean, I like fuck when it ended. You know, like fuck. But you kind of figure it's not going to put it in a bow for you. You know what I mean? It's not Old Man Withers at the fucking water park. You pull the mask off.
Yeah, I don't want heavy-handedness. I mean, I wouldn't.
Apparently you do.
No, oh God. No.
Yeah, you do. You want it all laid out for you, you said.
Look, I like 2001: A Space Odyssey. No one's ever going to figure out that movie. Shit, there's college courses dedicated to that fucking movie.
The Box
right?
and the Monkeys, right, Raven Shadow?
Box and the Monkeys. That's the movie. I summed up in 2 fucking minutes. That's my review of it. Put me on the fucking box star.
And I enjoy the fuck out of that movie. I love that movie, and it doesn't answer anything.
But what's your problem with this one?
Because I just found it to be over. It was
Self-indulgent.
It insists upon itself.
It's a millennial movie.
That's part of it. It
isn't part of it because this type of movie existed far earlier than millennials. This is a movie that just journeys down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I agree with that. It just keeps going further and further, and it gets more and more involved, and we get these, all these sort of codes and conspiracy theories, and just the idea. One of the things I loved about the songwriter was the idea that there's one all powerful thing that like holds all pop culture and then releases it, at various times, and then when people relate to a movement or to an artist, like it's completely a lie. Like I don't really know what that was trying to say per se, but it is an interesting sort of idea and concept,
That was something I was talking about too early on, and then I forget some of the. It was a long fucking 2 hours or whatever the fuck. I felt like it was 2 hours going on 6 at times. But there was some references that Sam made, and then where was I going with it? But even down to when the singer, what was it, Dracula and the Who was he, Lord Chaos,
and
the band.
Yeah,
Jesus and the Brides of Dracula, as Corny said. Yep.
How he was he was given like 3 songs to sing, but the rest were all his. And he's like, "Oh, you mean the hits?" It's like, "No, I wrote other good songs." Like basically, yeah, his main songs are written for him. So even who these creative people are over the years, they can write their songs, but they're assigned certain ones that
their singles are written for them.
Yeah, the singles are written for.
The rest is just filler music.
Right.
I mean, one of the things that I really liked about this movie is there were a lot of scenes that you could actually just take out of the movie, and on the surface it wouldn't affect the movie, but it just would take out from the movie. Like a lot of the subtext of the movie.
Okay.
Like you could actually have a whole movie without that. Wow, there's a whole.
Oh, hey, Johnny! No, it was a head full of Johnny.
It's just
that's you guys' camera. That's not the one broadcasting. Only you guys get. That's your special exclusive camera.
Oh, is that premium content?
We get to see ourselves, huh?
MZ, nice. You fucked up the camera. Put your hand up and refocus it.
Did you really?
Yeah, you fucked. No. Further away. All right, there you go. That's better. Yep.
Just fucking everything up.
So Evil Corny says, I got a Big Lebowski Vertigo vibe when I watch this.
Okay. Interesting.
And he says, I know that you never follow coyotes. All right, fair.
My Nana always said.
And he also says there weren't any Transformers in this film.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. No interchanging robots. I hated
that. So, there's some things I don't want to talk about as we get closer to sort of the end of the film. It's not necessarily a huge spoiler stuff, but so this sort of one thing I will say is if you look at Sam's character, he basically got with all the women like that he wanted to, except for one, right?
Right. Yes.
His dream girl.
And that was in essence sort of like his in this like a quest. Like it was like his like
His white wife. His
yeah.
He's Captain Ahab.
his spear was flowing. I'll tell you that much.
But the thing is, like, there's all this other stuff going on that should have been more important to him, like the owl's kiss, like, you know, all these other things going on underneath his nose, and he was
pay his fucking rent.
Right. His car got repossessed, like, and he was so focused on this one thing, and then like when he finds the resolution of looking for her, it ends up being like not very gratifying for him, I guess, you know?
And that was weird too. It definitely took a fucking turn at that point.
Yeah, it took a hard left turn. Like,
yeah,
you know, you didn't expect that for sure. No one would have expected that to come. But, you know, it just was, once again, sort of an interesting thing. And then now he has to deal with the ramifications of not having a resolution, right?
So was that part of that crazy journey was all for fucking naught? And he's just a dummy.
Well, he does come out. I mean, he does kind of come out the other end, so to speak, and he seems like he's changed. I don't know exactly how per se, but you know, towards the end, you can see that he felt there's something a little different about him. You know.
So do you think? Here's the thing, John. When that final scene happens, when he looks across and sees what's happening happen, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he realized, well, I'm a fucking dummy and I fucked up and lost? Like, it was all for naught. Like, I think he became self-aware and a grown-up in that moment, like knowing that he's fucked.
Maybe that, you know, that symbol on the wall. You know, almost like I feel like it's almost like a repeat of that in a sense, but he's looking at his own life and. You know, I don't know. Like, there's definitely something to that.
Did anyone else see when he was going through her things? See that scene coming when he opened the box?
Oh, when he sniffed it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like,
yeah, that's what I would have done.
Apparently, I'm the only. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, come on, Aries. You're into all kinds of weird shit.
I am into weird shit, but I didn't see that coming.
Come on, sir. Make that movie.
I would have followed suit. I would have done the same thing. Why not? Why not?
It went in Rome.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
not? Why?
You got to ask?
Yes.
All right, stay out of my fucking room, okay?
What if it was somewhere else where you maybe might not like the smell?
Yeah. Lots of options.
Yeah, there are options.
At least 3 of them.
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess you take your chances, you know.
At least
the over and under.
Could taste like gum. Could taste like something else. Who knows?
What are you doing now?
I don't know.
You're a weird fucking guy.
Smell like taste like gum. Whatever. I don't know.
Blah, blah, blah.
It smells like skunk. They had a skunk problem. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this before we head to a verdict?
I think a fucking lot, but I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, I could talk about this longer. Like there's just so much going on, you know, and every character sort of like there was a lot of side characters here. Like we had like the comic book guy, the comic book artist. We had
Sky
Elebar. We had Topher Grace's character. We had all the girls that he interacted with, like the girls from was it Shooting Stars or something like that.
That was a very interesting kind of creation too. There was some interesting world building here.
Yeah,
if that's my term. You know what I mean? Like he put some thought into the characters, and it's funny. Like I don't know where I'm gonna go when Buster comes on. Because I feel like I've been up and down, and even this conversation too. Like I don't know how it's going to all play out.
I mean, definitely created that thing. He definitely created a world that I'm sure it's, in some ways is exactly Hollywood, in other ways is not Hollywood at all. And it's just, it's very unique and it's magical. It is very Hollywood and magical.
Would this be an interesting double feature of this and Low Life?
Yes. Yes, it would.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think this would be an interesting double feature with anything, really.
Fair.
I mean, this created its own surreal universe.
Yeah, this I guess this is almost like the antithesis of Low Life in a way. Where Low Life was grimy and criminal and but this is almost like the opposite of that in a way, where it's like the kind of highfalutin, like Hollywood elite kind of almost,
Hollywood rooftop pool parties.
Yeah.
Thing.
So I mean, yeah, it is an interesting juxtaposition to talk about those two films for sure. So, all right. Well, if no one has anything else pressing, I guess we will go to the verdict on this baby.
Unless Randy.
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick is a trick or a treat. And any final thoughts? Raven Shadow.
I don't even fucking know, dude.
Well, it's one or the other.
You want to come to you last?
I don't know. Maybe I want to hear what you guys say first.
All right. I'll go first.
No. On with them saying that, I want to hear him say it first.
Yep.
No. I don't fucking know, man. Up, down, to and fro. I don't even fucking know. You know what I mean? Like, where am I gonna go? It'll be a journey, much like the film. I don't know, man. There were parts that I was really into and parts that really annoyed the shit out of me. And then parts that fucking dragged fucking long. Like I just felt my beard getting longer. Like I just felt like time was fucking ticking in my head.
Okay, Scott Ian.
Thank you. I love second Spider-Man punching kids in the face and knocking.
Second Spider-Man.
That should have been that movie.
5 minutes of this movie.
Yeah. Well, he's a lot more. Beating up the kids and knocking dust boots was at least 15 minutes. I like crazy nude owl girl succubus thing. I like that. I like Quasar inspired musician inspiration. Everything. The fucking plot at the end bugged the shit. Bunker shit bugs the shit out of me.
Archie Bunker shit?
Yeah, never believe a fucking crazy I don't know, fucking certain guys you just don't fucking believe it. No, it's not gonna happen the way you think it's gonna. Shit.
Say something.
Fuck my ass.
Oh my God! Come on.
I would say if you're into some weird kind of like, I don't know if millennials is the right word, but indie kind of weirdness journey into absurdity, fantastical elements with a weird noir, urban noir.
Did you read the dictionary today? What the f-?
I would say, I don't know what but what I'm trying to say is it's a tepid treat for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I want, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Hurry up, go to Aries. Hurry up, go to Aries before he talks some more.
Go,
I'm sorry,
all
I went first.
Moving on to Aries.
I enjoyed this movie. This movie definitely is a journey down the rabbit's hole. Sit back and enjoy this movie. This you definitely need to immerse yourself in this universe. This is more of a real world movie where not everything is so exciting, where it keeps you pinned to the movie. There are downtimes to this movie, as there are downtimes to the world. You just need to sit through and as in, sitting in your office job. You've got to deal with that. Some parts of this movie for 5 or 10 minutes, it is just downtime of dialogue. but the payoff is worth it. This movie is a surreal journey in the world of Hollywood. Now, I'm saying that having never been to Hollywood.
Well, I mean, we've all seen it enough, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean this is the Hollywood that is the Hollywood I think of.
Yeah.
This is the type of thing. This isn't the movie, the movie universe Hollywood. This is the Hollywood that exists beyond the movie, behind the scenes Hollywood. This is what I think of that happens.
The real Hollywood.
Yeah, the real Hollywood. Yes. But I mean, this movie is just, there is so much to this movie. You can't even wrap your head around this movie. This movie, at times, I feel it should have been a series of episodes of a having it be a Netflix series of 7 or 8 episodes. I don't know if that would have added to it or taken away from it. But watch this movie. This movie it is so good. Watch this movie. Wow. This is
awesome. All right, MZ.
Allow me to retort.
This is a tasty movie.
No, I found this annoying. This was truly an annoying film for me. We're seeing this movie through the eyes of the lead character. What's his name? Sam?
Sam, yep.
Sam. All right, we're seeing this movie through his eyes. And throughout the movie, he goes on these journeys. He has these things. He does. Now I'm talking like Raven Shadow. But in the end, there are a lot of loose ends. Nothing comes to a conclusion, and he is somewhat, perturbed by that. As Sam. So if I'm seeing this movie through the eyes of Sam, who is annoyed with the fact that nothing really comes to a satisfying conclusion, why shouldn't I, as the viewer, feel that way as well? But at least he got to go on this journey. I had to watch it, and that was painful.
You get to make out with hot chicks.
That's right. So at least he had that going for him. Me, all I had was my Cheez-Its in my one hand, my dick in the other, and just watch.
Jesus. Wait, Cheez-Its and your dick in the same hand?
No, it's separate hands. You think I am? Some sort of a freak?
Don't be crass.
Cheez-It powder's lube?
Is that what was stuck to his hand when he tried to pick up Spider-Man?
Some weird fucking combos right there.
Yeah.
Combos are good, too.
Combos are good.
They are good, man. I love combos. There's a lot of stuff good going for this. It looks fantastic. The score is good. For the most part, decent performances, I would have to say. Some very good performances, I would say. The one thing that it's lacking is coherency. And I just didn't care for it because of that. And its running time also was a detriment as well. I'm gonna have to say
a potty break.
Maybe. I'm gonna have to give this a trick. Although I do love the director's previous effort, It Follows. I think it's one of the best horror films of the past, say, 10 years. I would put it in the top 10 somewhere. This one, not so much. I think it tries too hard to be artistic. A little too millennial for me. You guys can laugh all you want.
I just don't know what that means in this context, though.
Yeah, it just comes across as very. I don't even know how to word it correctly to make people understand.
Yeah, apparently, because I find nothing particularly millennial about this movie. This movie is, I mean, these people are millennials in this movie, but if this movie was 20 years ago, these people would have been Gen Xers acting the same exact way.
But all right, maybe I'll take away the millennial aspect of it and just say, Well, I mean,
young
like
people?
the postmodern idea when we were their age was cool. It was hip. I don't find this cool or hip because
you're old.
Well, yeah, because
I am old, but I got a young mind. Apparently, I do.
Because I can relate to these people if I put myself in that age.
Because I assure you, Al didn't think what we were doing back when we were 20s were fucking cool. I'll tell you that much.
I just look the overall aspect. The thing is, I didn't particularly care for it. I just thought it was too boring, too wordy, and it wasn't cohesive. It was all over the place, you know. And like I said, the director's a hell of a lot smarter than I am, so he knows exactly what he's doing. This movie just isn't for me. I didn't like it. This is a trick.
All right. Well, I really fucking love this movie, and definitely a treat for me. This is it's so interesting to me. I mean, I didn't know where this was going to go. At the beginning, when there was talk of a dog killer, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate this movie. I don't want to see dogs dying all throughout. Obviously, we didn't get that, thankfully.
Yeah.
Movie.
This fucking guy. All right, Johnny, timestamp this.
Damn movie.
What?
Would you let me finish?
Timestamp what?
You know, MZ is like complaining that we're upset about dog violence, but this guy fucking cries like a baby on a big wheel.
Yeah, because he can't. Because I can't understand it. I don't understand.
You know, first of all, all they talk about is a dog killer. Yep, you don't see any dog violence at all.
Until the end credits. And the end credits pissed me off.
Oh yeah, well you see the drawings of the dogs hanging from nooses and shit.
I didn't like that part.
Yeah, I wondered about that, but what the hell? It's still a movie. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Would it hit more home if it was the ferret killer?
No, because it's a movie.
And movies don't need to resolve or make sense, MZ.
Continue, John.
Apparently.
So, I this is a movie, like, when it ended, I honestly was like, I didn't stand up and applaud, and I wasn't like, oh my God, that was like an amazing movie. I just, throughout it, I just was compelled, I was engaged, and I thought that the direction was super solid. Like, I love the look of it. I love a lot of the things that he did. I love the world building. But since then, I've been thinking about this movie a lot since I watched it. And for me, I mean, that's not always like an indication of a good movie, but I wanted to dig in and find out more about it and find out sort of what the director had in mind. And, you know, so this movie's been on my mind all day after watching it last night. And, you know, to me, that in this case is definitely a good sign. And, you know, I just think that there's so many interesting things going on in this, and it makes me want to go back and revisit it. And you know, that to me is a good, you know, is a sign of a good film. And I think that David Robert Mitchell is a super good director. He's got a great eye, and he's just also a great writer. Like, everything just kind of ties to, you know, like all these disparate elements tie together to create a world that makes sense. Now, we didn't have every thread resolved. Every story thread wasn't resolved, and even the ending wasn't completely resolved necessarily. But I just think that a lot of this was done so well. It was executed very well, and yeah, it's a big time treat for me. So there you have it, our discussion of Under the Silver Lake. We will actually have we have some voicemail coming up that we will play, and I'm looking forward to checking out what other people have to say about this. I know Corny called in some thoughts, and we got some other people that may have some thoughts as well. So looking to interested to find out what other people think. So next week, you know what? I forgot to check to see if this movie was available on VOD. Let me just check real quick. Because if so, I'm very excited about doing this one. So let me just double check and see. Yes. Okay, great. So this one is available. And it is available on VOD. And so if you guys want, you can check it out on Amazon. It just went up last week, I believe. And it is directed by Kaya Roach Turner. That name may sound familiar to some of you, because we did a little film. Was it a couple years ago called Wormwood? You guys remember that?
I remember it.
Yeah.
Wormwood.
Yeah, it was the post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah,
right?
Australian flick, right?
Yes.
Or New Zealand flick?
Australian, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we like that.
Love that movie.
yeah, no, we really enjoyed that one. And so I think Wormwood was directed by a duo, and in this one, it is written by the duo, but only one of them directs it. And the name of the film is Necrotonic. And it is listed as a comedy, horror, sci-fi. And the synopsis, a man who discovers that he is part of a secret sect of magical beings who hunt down and destroy demons in the internet. And it actually has Monica Bellucci in it, MZ.
Very good.
So I figured you'd like that. So yeah, Necrotonic. We're gonna do that next week.
All right. Yeah.
I've known about this one for a couple months now. I've been really looking forward to it. So super excited because I know there was a lot of promise with Wormwood. So I've been really interested to see what this duo does. It's a brother duo, Kaya Roach Turner and Tristan Roach Turner. So really interested. The Roach Brothers, yeah. They have their own grocery store. So we will be doing Necrotonic. It is available on VOD if you guys want to play along at home and check it out. And if you do, let us know what you think. Send us a voicemail or an email, podcast@trickortreatradio.com. And now we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and then we're going to play some voicemail and wrap things up. So... Ollie's leading us into break.
Yes, he is.
MZ and Ollie, how long until we're back?
We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Boys, cartoons, I don't know, help me out here.
Music, pants, quoting video games that don't have dialogues, shabibers, tasty news,
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
butt breathers, uncomfortable nature facts,
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Red Octopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
Like me.
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Red Octopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
Gloria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
Don't say that. That's like,
you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. I
You
don't know.
just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for
You
greatness.
guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really
just
are. You
say
got a
that again
great show.
Hello. This is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and ParanormalPunchers.com.
I'm Alex West. And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast. And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Say, man. Hey, I got to tell you, this is the second time this year in which I have now hit 5 tricks in a row.
Really?
Yeah, we got to start stepping it up there, Wolfie. Come on.
Well, hey, everyone else liked the movie but you, so.
Yeah, this is not Wolfie's problem. This is your problem. This is a very good.
I hardly consider it a problem.
You consider
You just said it was a problem.
Nope. I didn't say it was a problem.
You said he had to step up his game.
Yeah. Not a problem. Is it, Wolfie?
You said it was.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was a problem.
Aries?
I'm gonna.
I did the words. This is a problem come out of my mouth.
But by saying he needs to step up his game is implying that it's a problem. Otherwise, he would step up his game. Quote unquote, step up his game. I don't think he has a problem with this game because he just picked an outstanding movie first of all.
Oh, well, at least you thought so.
I did.
Well, thank you, Aries. All right. So, well, let's see. What were the last ones? So, you, Under the Silver Lake, you didn't like. Blood Paradise, you didn't like. Sword and the Sorcerer. Dudes? You like Dudes?
Oh, come on, you always like dudes.
I did like. Well, we did a double?
Yeah,
did we do a double?
That was a double
day?
with Trespassers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like.
I didn't.
You don't like Trespassers, right?
Yeah.
You didn't like.
I didn't. Hellboy, no.
You didn't like Hellboy. You didn't like Deep Murder. You didn't like. Did you like Nightmare Cinema? I don't remember.
No.
So, but you did like us.
Yes. And I did like Dudes. I just didn't think of Dudes as part of our.
So technically, if we take Dudes out, there's seven tricks in a row.
Is it really? Shit, I didn't even realize that.
I just think you don't like movies.
Yeah, I hate movies.
He loves dudes and hates movies.
I'll tell you, I do love movies. I've been watching a shitload on Tubi.
Big surprise.
The Tubi update. Let me go to the bathroom.
Yes, our weekly Tubi update. What did I watch?
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I watched. I'm in the middle of watching my 4th Argento film.
Okay, which ones?
Well, right now I'm in the middle of watching Opera, but
Nice.
I watched Tenebrae, watched Phenomena, and watched Bird with the Crystal Plumage. And let's see, what else? I think that's it right now. And I watched Glow Season 3. Binged that.
You watched the whole goddamn thing?
Yep.
You binge it in one day?
They're only like 35 minutes long.
I know. I watched it. I watched 3. Jesus Christ. Like, don't you like sit and enjoy? Like,
yes, I do. That's why I watch them.
Like, I can't do that. I can't watch multiple things in a row. I got to take it in.
Don't you do anything, MZ?
What? Do I do anything?
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, do you do anything? Watch TV?
No, of course I do.
Like what?
Stuff.
Good art, Brad.
What kind of stuff?
Stuff.
I got stuff to do.
Name it.
Sometimes I transform Starscream into a plane, and sometimes I make him a robot.
What did you do over your 2 days off this week besides watching television?
Let's see. Well, I had to take care of my girlfriend because she wasn't feeling too well.
Oh, you mean I take care of her?
No.
He put his fingers to his head as a gun.
No, because she wasn't feeling too well. Then I watched a movie. Then I went out and did some shopping.
Yeah, he gave some cough medicine. She would sleep. Go to sleep, man.
Yeah, here's a triple dose of NyQuil. See you tomorrow afternoon. And no, I did. I know I did food shopping, and I went to go visit my mom. Because it's always important for me to visit my mom.
This is stuff that everyone does.
Yes, and this is stuff that I do. So what's the problem?
I love the fact that I specifically said besides watch TV, but you still said you watch TV. Like
That
it's so ingrained in you. You're like,
that was thrown in as a joke. God, I thought you would have caught on to that.
You're smart enough, Aries.
yeah. No, I don't.
No, you're not smart enough. That's okay. Yeah, play with your
Wow.
That. Is that a euphemism?
Feels good, right?
This is a piece of fucking work, man. I love this.
Isn't it nice? Thank you, Marion.
Yeah.
That's fucking sweet. Yeah, we don't want any more fucking tech issues.
This is cool. This is
fucking great.
This is badass. I mean, it's been used. I mean,
it's dangerous in his hands.
It's true.
All right. Well, we have some voice messages to get to, and then we'll start to wind things down. So, you guys ready for some voicemail?
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. All right. I think I got everything all set to go. And first, we're going to hear from our boy, Arkham Josh.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. It's probably some background noise. I'm out walking the dog like usual. First things first, I wanted to say I'm very happy to see you guys have been getting everything worked out in the True Studio situation. Johnny, I'm super glad to see that you're settling in down in Maryland. I think you're down in the Hunts Valley area. There used to be a pretty cool convention down there that my buddy Scott and I would go to when he was working for Fearworks. It was at a college that had the most try-hard name I've ever heard. Like, I've never been to a place that tried so hard to want you to know that they were like a legitimate institution, because it was called the University of Maryland University College. They really wanted you to know that you were at a place of higher learning. Although I'm not sure I could ever go to a school whose acronym would read UMUC. But hey, you never know, right? But I hope you're settling in well down there. I hope you're enjoying it. So, it sounds like, Raven Shadow hasn't completely alienated the other guys yet. So, hopefully all of this goes smoothly in the future. So I did get to watch this week's film. Luckily, you guys delayed a week on the movie, because I did not get to watch it last week. But so, Under the Silver Lake. Like most people, I was a huge, huge fan of It Follows, and I was quite looking forward to this film. And this is a weird one, because it's kind of a disjointed mess that is all over the place in tone, but I also kind of really dug it. So, I don't know. It's tough to say. It's, I like how, at heart, it's got this very old Hollywood noir mystery to it. It's reflected in the shooting style and a lot of the locations, and especially in the score. And I like how you kind of meet this kind of ragtag group of weirdos along the way. It just felt like it never completely came together. I don't know how you guys felt about it, so I'm really looking forward to hearing you guys talk about it. I am gonna say tepid treat. I quite enjoyed it, even though while I was watching it, I found it kind of frustrating. But when I think back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was kind of interesting, and that was kind of interesting. So, I know I liked it, but I can't really go all the way with it. So I'm gonna say tepid treat, and that it is a slight recommend. If you like something that's a little bit offbeat, or if you like an interesting mystery, you know what? It was kind of like a 40s Hollywood mystery smashed together with a really quirky 90s indie film. So, if that sounds appealing to you, definitely check it out. If kind of meandering, disjointed, oddball stories don't appeal to you, then skip this one. So, I don't know. I can't wait to hear what you guys thought. And now there's construction noise. So, you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
The sounds of Providence. Thank you, Josh. But no, I mean, he kind of echoed some of the sentiments of Raven Shadow, in that he liked a lot of what was going on, but it was kind of weird, and and also kind of what Aries and I said as well, that we really dug it. So yeah, always like hearing Josh's thoughts on film, and interesting about the University of Maryland University College. I have.
It's actually a state school.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just like it. So, yeah, cool. I don't know if that convention, the reference is still going on, but maybe I'll keep an eye out. But thank you, Josh. Always good to hear from you, my friend. And next up, we're going to hear from Evil Corny.
Guys, this is Evil Corny. I watched Under the Silver Lake for the second time last weekend. Really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time, and the second time around, I was seeing more patterns in what was going on in the film. I have a question for you all. Do you all think that the song that Jesus and the brides of the brides of Dracula were singing was to gather, the people that were going to do the thing? That's the only way of me asking without, spoiling anything. But I was just wondering if it was any kind of subliminal message, or were they going willingly? Well, that's it. Like I said, I think it was a treat. Really enjoyed the film. I also enjoyed that you all voted for Raven Shadow's studio to be called the lair of lost swag and everything inside the Raven Chateau. I really appreciate that. Evil Corny out. Oh yeah, and Aries, like I said, if you see anything that might belong to me, like that nice Fight Cup poster behind you, you'll have my address. You all have a good one. Evil Corny out.
Oh, don't worry, Corny. I already voted for that one to get taken off the wall, so that's the first step.
Yeah, fucking Corny. Aries don't like the Fight Club. What the fuck?
That laugh at the end
was pretty good, but no, it was, and seriously, there was seriously. Thank you everyone for contributing and contributed. But I think it was definitely apropos that Corny got selected because he spent some time here, and we have a connection.
And he didn't blow up any food in your microwave either.
He didn't. I love Slagoth. Don't get me wrong. He is awesome. But no, Corny, good mess. He's very tidy. And I appreciate it. And I love Slagoth too. Don't get me. He's my boy.
Who with the mic?
It might have been a little bit of a cheese.
Well, it's obvious who you like better because you shipped one person's stuff and didn't ship the other.
I didn't ship anyone's stuff, Johnny. Aries.
No, I didn't. You're a special lady friend.
Yeah. Listen,
That's why you know what? The computer has to be sent back within 3 days. That's why Aries is doing it. I don't fucking trust you.
I jumped on that. I saw these get sent back. Yep, on it.
It'll be there a year from now. You'd be like, August 18th, 2019. I thought you meant 2020.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon. There's a lot of things get lost in shipping. No, but
nothing gets lost in shipping.
So many things get lost in shipping. Ships get lost in the ocean. No, but listen. I was going. Listen. Let's be fair. Let's just be fair, okay?
You didn't ship Corny shit.
I didn't do anything for a little while. I was just working things out.
You're like MZ watching Tubi.
We didn't have Tubi back then. But no, I think I'm in a better place now, and I will ship things out. I sent JB something nice.
No, you didn't.
I did. 8 by 10.
Wait, you said something nice.
Yeah,
I said something.
Yeah, you said you sent something nice.
Well, then that's
an 8x10.
And my
That's
8x10,
nice.
I gave him a nice little photo, much like the photo I have hanging behind your big melon over there.
Probably,
we all.
So you were quick to send out a photo of yourself.
I wasn't quick,
but shit that someone bought and left here.
JB probably lined the cat box with it.
No, JB is a gentleman scholar,
and maybe he's got a lot of cats.
It's fine. There's a bunch of them out there.
He likes to play darts, I hear.
Yeah. They ain't no fucking endangered species list now, but what we're trying to say is that I'm in a better place now.
Corny did say you blew up your bath.
Oh, really? I must have been downstairs.
After, who knows?
Oh,
That may
yeah.
That may have happened. But that's okay. It's whatever, man. That's what you do
stuff
there.
can't say the same thing.
You know what?
That stuff is in a better place.
You know what? Every room has a job, and that's that room's job.
You get blown up.
Well, you know, like we can do it. Some days are better than others. He who hasn't sinned. But no, thank you, Corny. Thank you, Josh.
All right.
Thank you.
And one more voicemail. This is from First Time Mike.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. Hope all is well with everybody. Digging the swank new pad at the Raven Chateau, and also really admiring the new Castle Wolfenstein. Amazing that you got it set up so well as fast, Johnny. Good for you. Not much today. Just wanted to let you guys know I saw Us last week. Finally, I've been putting off the movie for a while, but I enjoyed it. It was I like Get Out better, and part of me says is like it's one of the better Twilight Zone episodes I've ever seen. But all in all, I thought Jordan Peele did a good job with this movie. I found the concept very interesting, and the ramifications, if you really think about what's happening, are kind of creepy and scary when you think about it, and the logistics of it alone are staggering. But I thought the acting was great. I thought Lupita Nyong'o, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, I thought she was excellent in both her roles, and I enjoyed all the actors and actresses and their doppelgangers, to which each one they were able to show the differences, especially with the doppelgangers, just by body language, and that is pretty hard. And I thought everybody did a really good job of showing just the differences with the doppelgangers not speaking except for Red. I also enjoyed the fact that I've seen some people say that the trailer did not play fair with the story, and I'm not going to go into any details, but in this day and age, hey, I think that's a great thing, because I don't think every trailer should reveal everything about a movie. And the thing of a trailer is to get you interested in seeing the movie, and if they sometimes bend around the rules, I think it's that much stronger, because I went into it after seeing the trailer for it expecting one thing, and I got some of what I thought and a lot of what I didn't thought, so I was pleasantly surprised. I recommend seeing Us. Also, as Quentin Tarantino, I like Quentin Tarantino. He sometimes I think his love of recreating scenes from that he loves from different movies and the art of pastiche, I think sometimes that overwhelms his storytelling to the point where sometimes he seems to be more interested in setting up the scene than actually delivering the scene. I think what saves a lot of his movies is that he gets a lot of really strong actors and actresses to be in his movie to carry some of the dialogue scenes and in between the different set pieces he does. One time when I watched Inglourious Bastards with my dad one time, and it was in the beginning we were interested in it, and then I turn around in the slower middle, and Pa fell asleep. And then when he wakes up towards the end, he's like, well, what happens, and did I miss anything? And I said, well, you missed a lot of talking, and then stuff happened. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Inglourious Bastards, but sometimes Tarantino can get a little talky, but I do respect his movies a lot, because Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs are still two of my favorite movies of that era, of that type of movie. And I'm still eager to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. and I thought the Hateful Eight was great. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Like I said, I love Quentin Tarantino, and I also would love to go watch Grindhouse movies with him and Rodriguez. But I would probably look over to him sometime and go, Quentin, shut the fuck up. Yes. Because I think he needs to be told that once in a while. But that's neither here or there. This is First Time Mike saying goodnight to you all, wishing you all the best. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. First Time Mike, thank you, buddy. Always love hearing from you. Glad you dug us. And also, threw in some thoughts about Quentin as well.
Yeah, I could see his point when it comes to the dialogue portion, especially when it comes to dialogue in Inglourious Bastards, because outside the exception of Brad Pitt's occasional appearance in the film, the movie can get a little talky and it can get a little boring. But that's that's one of Quentin's strongest suits is that he knows how to create great dialogue. He knows how to do that, and he does it so well. I think to the point as far as Inglourious Bastards go is that it's not being played out by anybody that is considered popular in this country. A lot of the longer dialogue scenes were played out between German actors and German actresses, and so and also with that you also have or French, and with that you also got your subtitles as well and so because for the first maybe 15-16 minutes of that movie you're reading subtitles, and there are various places in the film in which you're reading even more subtitles with long lines of dialogue. Personally, I love it. I have no problem with it. I have no problems with subtitles. I know you have a problem with subtitles.
I don't have a problem.
I know
with
you
subtitles.
have a problem with subtitles.
Aries does.
Yeah, but I watched Bastards Sunday night, I think, again.
Yeah.
And it was, I haven't seen it since I got it. I think for Christmas, actually, I watched it. There are things that I liked it more the second time around. I still think there are moments of absolute brilliance in it, and there are moments that just fucking go on. But even the card scene with Michael Fassbender
in the basement.
In the basement.
Yep.
That truly dragged for me the first time I saw it. It was at a better flow watching it the second time around, maybe knowing the punchline. And I do love Quentin. I mean, don't get me wrong. I said it last week. He needs an editor. He's got to fucking someone. Yeah, and first time I said it right. Someone has to say, "Shut the fuck up, Quentin." Put the fucking coke down and stop it for a little bit. I'm not sure he does coke, but I'm pretty fucking sure he's a lot of coke.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and that's okay. Make movies, but see, there's brilliance. I don't like the revisionist history, and I get it if it's in this universe. I'm talking about Bastards. I'm not talking about the new film. I totally want all Nazis to burn in a fire in a theater.
If that's how it's gonna go, it's gonna go just like that.
I wish that happened in history. If that was in my history book, if that really happened, that'd be dope. But it didn't fucking happen like that. And that's the kind of thing where, and I don't know. I've not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but the minute I'm pretty sure I know what the ending's going to be. Fine. I think it'd be much, why does it have to be the actual historical element of something? Could you get the same message across with having, okay, well, this is obviously the Manson family. Does it have to be the real one? And I just want to throw this out there. There are movies that blend fact and fiction. I didn't see this film, but I guess there was a flick with Robert Pattinson a couple of years back where the movie goes on, does its own thing, and I guess it culminates with, turns out he's in one of the towers during 9/11. You know what I mean? Just that's where his character is. You're like, oh, it's that day, so I get that. And I'm okay with fiction too. I totally believe that two motherfuckers can take a time traveling fucking phone booth and go back in time, meet people in history, and pass that fucking test. Sold. I don't need. I'm with that. I buy that. A spider bites you in the fucking hand, you get powers, and you don't just get a fucking rash. Yep, I'm totally on board with that. Or radiation, you don't get cancer. But when it's obvious history and it changes, that takes me out of it. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense at all?
But
I guess so.
But even if it's not being portrayed as how things went, like if it's like an alternate timeline or something like that.
And yeah, once again, I've read comics, and if you read X-Men at all, even like Logan, the film Logan, I took that as an alternate timeline from those films. And they're all
Elseworld stuff, like Red Son or whatever,
Exactly. So I guess maybe I am contradicting myself a little bit, where I can get an Elseworld thing, but I think when it's
you're not the first person to contradict yourself. MZ's done it plenty today, so.
Well, fair, but I think it's not like this alternate mix. But I think when it's true, like historical people, like once again, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter,
historical people doing historical things.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can buy something like that, but I wish Brad Pitt killed Hitler. He did.
But I mean, you're looking at it. I mean, what are they going to do? Just like, okay, we have this person that ran a country that is, he's Kistler. And they hunted him, and he started this war that involved the whole world, and it was the Great War. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, at some point, it's gotta be the actual events and the actual people that it's just changed a little bit to suit this story's needs.
Which, I can understand that. I think maybe it was very surprising to me first time watch, where it was like, oh, that's where they're going, and for me it took me out of the film when I originally saw it.
Well, maybe what it is that it's played over so well, the ending of Inglourious Bastards, that it's such a phenomenal idea that you kind of get mad at the fact that it wasn't done.
And that's that's the thing. It's all make believe. It's all fiction, and I get that. Fucking, and DiCaprio was on the fucking Titanic. Okay, whatever the fuck. But I don't know. When it's real historical people, it does take me out slightly. Tom Hanks didn't invent the fucking smiley face. Okay, it wasn't fucking Forrest Gump. Guy here in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
recognize. Forrest Gump pissed me off too. Fuck him.
Why? Because he took credit for all these things that happened.
Yeah,
he wrote a magic.
Because he showed his ass to LBJ.
Yeah,
I think we should. I think we should rebrand this podcast like the sitcom Tarantino connection or something, because
it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about those things lately.
Maybe something with the technical problems. I don't know. I like Tarantino.
All right, well, that is it for voicemail.
Good fucking voicemails too, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually going to do it for the show, I think, because we're going to try to keep it close to 2.5 hours, and now we started late because of tech issues once again, so we're now just past 11. So I think we'll start to wind things down, and then, like I said, next week, hopefully we'll have things as good or better than they were this week, and we're also going to talk about Necrotonic, and MZ's looking at the camera. It's really weird.
I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking at the bust of
Dawn,
this fiery redhead that you have up here.
Yeah, Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the comic character, Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, like her, right? You like the redheads?
I do.
I saw on Facebook.
I am crazy about redheads.
But fuck those blondes. Blondes.
All right, let me just check the chat room real quick. Oh, Corny says I blew up the bathroom after Uno's, though, so he did admit.
That's
It's all right.
Oh, Corny did ask us a question we didn't answer. What do you all think about the song? He asked us about the song from Under the Silver Lake. I think he was asking about the code. I honestly forget the questions. Corny, I apologize. Do you guys remember what he was asking?
Yeah, he thought the band song was kind of enticing the followers to join that. The cult.
The answer is I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess it could have. I guess because it did get played a lot, like it was very prominent in the film. So I suppose that is possible. First Time Mike says I don't have a problem with subtitles either.
There you go.
Thank you.
And First Time Mike says, does the subtlety of the alternate history bother you, Raven Shadow?
Well, I don't think it's very subtle. No, it's not. It's not like I'm gonna fucking die on that hill. It did take me out of Bastards when I first saw it, and I don't know. It just, I want that. I want Nazis to burn in hell. I totally do. I want Captain America to punch Hitler in the face. I look at that every fucking day, and it makes me smile. It can't happen.
What's the difference?
Yeah,
But
true.
Yeah.
But it may have happened. I mean, it was back then. I mean, he could have.
What the fuck was that?
Him.
Damn.
Florida.
Damn, I thought there was an earthquake going on.
That's what I'm being called by 754-9.
Okay, we don't.
Florida. Well, I don't know if it's Florida. I'm pretty sure it's not Sligo.
Spam, yeah.
Stan?
Spam.
Stan Lee from Beyond the Grave.
Oh, shit.
Excelsior!
History. I'm alive. I'm alive now.
Excelsior, Raven Shadow. We've changed history, and you're joining the X-Men.
Thank you, Stanley. But you're alive and I'm dead. This sucks.
No. There's no difference between your complaining about Inglourious Bastards and Captain America.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying I love that. I want Captain America to be fucking real. He's fucking not.
Yes.
America sucks. But I want, if Steve Rogers was around, that'd be fucking great. But it's not fucking true. I wish someone could fucking fix a fucking nut on a fucking plane. The challenge and didn't fucking blow up. But it fucking did, and it's sad. Sucks. Life sucks. Watch two.
And on that note, all right, let's go around the room and say our goodbyes, starting with MZ. Aries.
Till next week.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
Wow, look at you. You went up a register there.
Little uptick on that one.
Yeah.
Fuck Aries up.
Are your pants too tight or something?
A little bit, yeah.
You get a little wedgie sitting on that couch?
Yeah, I'm getting a Reggie or some shit.
A Reggie? Did you say you're getting a Reggie?
A Reggie, like a front wedgie. It's fucking weird.
What the fuck is a Reggie?
No, I know. Come up to fucking New England. I'll show you.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for the show. Big thanks to everyone who called in tonight. Everyone hung out in the live chat room. We appreciate you guys. I think things are settling down a little bit. We'll see what happens next week. A new bag of tricks, new bag of dicks, maybe. And until then, from all of us here at Castle Wolfenstein, which is just me and Ozzy and T-Dog, and also from the Lair of Lost Swag and the Raven Chateau, we bid you adieu.